What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle. My goal is to make $50,000 buying and selling sports cards this year. So in this video, I'm going to kind of bring you guys up to date where we stand, what our thoughts are, and what our goals are really for this profit challenge, and kind of where we stand with it. We ended the last update was October 22nd, and we were at $10,017.68 in the profit. We had pretty much restarted this back in May, had to split some things up from my other business because it was all in one, making it a little hard to track. So really since May, we restarted this. My personal goal was really to get above 25,000, so we're not that far away. We can have some big swings over months. But I gotta be careful with how I'm gonna do this and what I'm gonna do. The last couple of weeks, my payouts from eBay have been pretty bad. So we've had two payouts since that last update. The first update was $300.84 as a payout from eBay. And my second update was $456.54. So we definitely took a hit there with our eBay sales. Generally, I'm trying to be close to that $2,000 mark. We had $700 over two payouts. Can't say that I'm super surprised by that. We've had a couple of different factors happening in the last, I would say, 2 months that really kept me back. So, I haven't been attending as many card shows. We've been averaging about 3 a month. And these last 2 months, I think I've been to 1 in the last 2 months. So I'm not getting new fresh inventory. I'm not staying up with the players that are most relevant for my eBay sales, and that's definitely hurting my eBay store. I'm putting up a lot of like $1 cards at the moment just to keep my eBay store active and moving. And I am making sales, but they're all like $1, $2, $3 cards. And when you're selling that, after fees, you're taking home 50 cents to $3. You're not going to see the needle move there like we need to. The other factor that we had is my kids were in soccer. So soccer just ended. So I'll have a little bit more flexibility on my weekends, but I used to be a bank manager. About a year and a half ago, I quit my job and went full-time into reselling. And the main reason why I did that is because there was a little bit of writing on the wall in the company I was with, where I was working a lot more than just the 40 hours. I was already working more than 40 hours, probably like 45 to 50. And that was just going to be a little uptick, if not more, consistently in that 50-hour range. So I decided that it was time to step back, go full-time into the small business that I had as a little side hustle, and give me the flexibility to spend more time with my family and my kids. So missing soccer games for card shows, stuff like that was not really in the question. So I missed a lot of card shows opportunities. Luckily, a lot of them around here are Sundays, but traveling and all sorts of different things happening. It just made it a little bit more difficult over the last 2 months to get to them. And my kids started back up. They've always been in school. They go to a daycare, a preschool facility. They're not old enough for like elementary school yet, but they get new kids in their classrooms, or brothers and sisters are now in school. Everyone seems to be coming home with new cool illnesses that I've now had twice in the last 2 weeks, which I was supposed to go to a big card show at one of the casinos. My wife and I were going to go and do an overnight. I ended up getting sick that weekend, so we didn't really plan on going as it was. And I didn't go to the card show. I had kind of talked to my wife about it. I was hemming and hawing because I did want to go. I also don't want to go and get hundreds of other people sick. I was feeling better that day, but was not worth getting up and going. So kind of advised against that. But you can definitely see my eBay sales. We are struggling with the new inventory. The only other income we had was I did have a PSA sale, which was pretty cool. So a while ago, I bought 2 Michael Jordan PSA 9 cards. My original offer that I was going to get from PSA, I think was like $250, I think, was my goal, $240 maybe. And I spent $160 on the 2 cards. So after shipping it to PSA and everything, I was expecting to walk away with like $40. And that's selling directly to PSA through the app. So that was the plan there. And I sent 1 card in, they bought it, no problems. But by the other card, they had removed the offer. And for a while, I checked a couple months, and I was checking consistently every day, and I never got an offer on it. Been some time, I decided to go look at it. I think the original offer was $106. I looked last night, and there was an offer for $140.70. So that card went up about $30 with the new offer out. I accepted that offer through PSA last night at like 6 o'clock at night, and this morning the funds were already in my account. So impressive turnaround time for PSA, but and add a little bit of a payout here which was very exciting. The other thing that we did on the road to making $50,000 was we spent $480. Went to the card shop. I'm doing a daily short, which I've even missed a couple times now. Kind of need to get myself back into that groove. But I'm opening one hobby pack a day, trying to pull a super fractor. So I bought a hobby box for that. I bought 2 blasters of Disney Chrome, which I opened with my kids. I posted that on the channel here. I had a blast doing that, and my son bought a Pokemon ball. So $480 into all that. And, that's kind of stuff where I'm not recouping my funds, but having some fun. Had a lot of fun with my kids. It was fun bringing my son to the card shop. It was one of the days that he was actually homesick. He was feeling better, but it was one of the recovery days where if they're sick, they have to stay out for a certain amount of time. So he was feeling pretty good. I normally would, if that was his normal symptoms, I would have just brought him into school. So went to the card shop and had a little bit of fun with him. When my daughter came home, we opened up her Disney box and we opened up his a little earlier than hers as like an activity for things to do and get them a little bit into cards. So I had a blast doing that. But that brings us to a total of $10,435.76. So we made about $400, a little over $400 over 2 weeks. Pretty bad when it comes to the profit challenge. I'm happy to see a profit, especially, with what I'm posting and what I've been doing as far as cards go. The $50,000 challenge obviously is not really realistic with 2 months left. I don't have anything super crazy. The way I was going to make it realistic was I was going to run a bunch of auctions, and I've been kind of hemming and hawing about this. I got sick, so I never actually did it. I listed about 50 of them. I wanted to do I get 250 free listings through my eBay store. For auctions, I wanted to put up 250 as a way for hopefully someone, multiple bidders, seeing different cards, who may drive up the price because I only charge $5 in shipping. But I was going to be putting up things like this Jackson Cheerio auto, another Cheerio auto, and then we got some like football that throw in the Penix. Just like there's like 3 inserts of Penix in there, just a little like silver rookie, but Jose Ramirez, that's 3 cards there. I'm not going to show you everything, but if you look through, you can see Matt Shaw, Pete Crow Armstrong. There is a lot of baseball in here. I was going to throw up some Keenan Allens, but lots and lots of baseball. Things like Mason Wynn, things that don't necessarily make sense to put up in an auction right now. Baseball season is ended. For all those teams at the time, it was definitely ended. There were a couple cards. I had a couple of Vladdy Juniors in there that would have made sense to run. I had some Otanis that I was going to run. So those things made sense, but I was really looking at the cards, and a lot of it was baseball. A lot of it was players that just don't make sense to run an auction, or at least at this moment don't make sense to run an auction. So I might scale that back. I am going to run some auctions, but it'll probably be lower end stuff that if I make a couple bucks on, I'll be happy, but more to move some stuff. I would love to get that going a little bit, but just to hit a goal of getting closer to 50,000, because I'm not going to hit the 50,000. Really, in my head, I want to hit 25,000. Didn't make sense to just like clear house and get rid of a bunch of stuff. There are cards I am going to be running just to get rid of because I'm sick of seeing them. But I want to make sure that I'm doing this right and, setting myself up well for next year. I'm going to have a sales goal for myself. I probably won't track it and do like a video series on it. But I will like show sales and stuff like that on my channel. I am going to continue tracking up to the $50,000. I am going to go to a card show this weekend. I have a couple other card shows that I plan on going to in the month of November. November should be a good buying month. And then hopefully December we'll see a good uptick in sales. Picked up a nice Skeens earlier today online. So I am making a little bit of progress getting back into it, but we are pretty far behind, and I don't want to just go ham for no real reason and just trying to make a arbitrary number. The reason why I started the $50,000 challenge was twofold. I wanted to see how close I could get to that and how much income I could bring in my life with flipping cards and that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's something you can do during the winter. It's a little bit harder for me to do my other business in the winter, where I kind of rely on like getting new inventory and stuff from buying storage units that are abandoned, stuff like that. Cards, there's always a card show happening. Obviously weather dependent, but for the most part, in where I am, we do get snow, but not that crazy amount where I run into cancellations all the time. So it was kind of a way to bring in some extra income. And the other thing was it made it so that I was posting here on YouTube. I'm a new YouTube channel. I want to make sure that I at least had something once a week that I could post. Sometimes they were 2-week updates, but that was because I was actually posting other things. This is the longest time I think I've known quite some time I haven't posted a video on this channel. So it kept me posting. It kept me like a reason to do something. It kept at least a little bit of a storyline. I'm going to keep it going through the end of December. I am going to try for the 50,000, but I'm not going to go nuts. I'm not going to make dumb decisions going forward as far as the business would go. But we are going to see some hopeful good movement in the month of November. Look forward to this month. Definitely want to have some fun. I also have finally talked to someone from eBay. I had someone reach out to me, and they were looking to talk to me about joining an eBay seller program that they have for the sales volume that I had. It was I had my first call with them. For the longest time, I thought it was a scam. I made this guy jump through hoops to prove that he actually worked for eBay. But I had my first call with him last week, and it was pretty cool. A little odd because now as I said, I was a bank manager previously, and I feel like I'm kind of in that setting now where I have like a boss looking over me, seeing my sales and my performance. I always had to monitor the performance of my branch, and I feel like now with this person, I have to monitor the performance of my eBay store. So had a couple of low payouts, and now I'm sitting here like, okay, I got to get this back up. And it's oddly for someone I don't even know that is in Texas monitoring my store and helping me. So I'll definitely do a video on that at some point after a couple consultations with this guy. The first one was pretty cool. Just the way that eBay looks at your account rather than the way you look at your account is a little bit different. But I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. If you guys haven't already done so, like, comment, subscribe, all that greatly helps me out. I'll catch you guys in the next one.